We are live in Studio B. This is your day-to-day BYU Sports play-by-play. I'm Spencer Linton alongside Jarom Jordan. It's that time of year where we get to talk to guys just about every day on this BYU football team. And yesterday, you had the opportunity to talk with a guy from one of the deepest position groups on the entire team.
And a lot of safeties played in this game. Certainly without Jay Hill, it was a little different. Gavin Fowler was coaching this group. But Talan Alfrey is a guy who's very experienced, one of the starters for BYU at strong safety. Played a lot. A lot of guys played too. I spoke with him about BYU's performance, Jay Hill, SMU, and much more. Talan, game one in the books. Nice performance from the defense. How'd you feel about it?
Yeah. Like you said, defense played really well. Obviously, there's always things to clean up, and one of the things, QB running game, we had to do better on that, defending that. But I think just as a whole defense, there's a couple plays here and there that we wish some big plays that we wish we could get back. But ultimately, we executed the game plan, got pressure on the quarterback, which was good to see. We had good coverage, which helped with that. And so, yeah, pretty good performance by the defense overall. Super excited.
There's a lot of strong safeties that played in this game. How would you evaluate kind of your group and what you guys did?
Yeah, there's lots of us in the safety room that played, and I think everyone played well, contributed when they got their opportunities. There's a quote that says, "Don't count the reps, make the reps count." And so everyone, when they got their opportunity, to make the most of it. Obviously, there's things we can all clean up individually and as a safety room and as a whole. But like you said, lots of safeties, lots of experience, trying to just lead that defense and make plays.
Tell me about the helmet comms on defense, because the offense can huddle and talk about it, but defensively, you guys kind of stay in your position. One guy's getting those comms. What kind of difference is that making? Are you still looking to the sideline for signals?
Yeah. There's kind of a mix of both. You have the coach-to-player communications, which is super helpful. Then you can also have the signals on the sideline, and the variety of different options we have with that helps just to keep things kind of in the unknown for the offense. If there's any chance of signal stealing during the game, but super grateful for that technology. The linebackers have that on the defense, or one linebacker has it. And so as a safety, we don't have it. So it's not much different for us. We're still having to get the call, whether from the player or from the sideline, and then execute our assignment. But yeah, it's super cool technology.
Okay, so on the sideline, you have the tablets. And I've talked to multiple players now that have said, listen, I didn't have to rewatch the game as much as I did before because I did during the game. How was that for you?
Yeah, it's pretty similar experience. Or we're just rewatching it yesterday,
Yep.
But after a play, if you had a question of, did I drop off the right person? Did I, cover my man well enough? Did I get the run pass read correct from the O-line? Did I see 3-step correctly? Did I see the screen? Just all those type of things is really nice to see right away on the tablet. And so then you can fix it in game instead of having to delay that improvement a week or so.
Is it awesome when you make a great play, and then if you don't make a great play, you're like, no, I'm good. I don't need to look at it.
Yeah, it can go both ways. Yeah, most times if you don't make a play, you want to see why you didn't, and so you still want to watch it. But I don't know if there's many people watching. I guess there's make a play, they go watch, see how the technique actually worked effectively and how it helped them make the play. So yeah, it's both ways though, watching it no matter what.
Walk me through Thursday and preparing, and then Jay Hill has a heart attack. Like, what did you guys know? What were you feeling at the time?
Yeah, so we came in Friday to our team meeting not knowing anything. I sit in the same row as Coach Hill, so I noticed he wasn't there. Sometimes he'd be just still preparing, finishing up the final notes for the defensive meeting or safety meeting. So I didn't think much of it. Then Coach Kalani got up and kind of presented the idea that Coach Hill was going to speak to us, and he was going to be the one to share what had happened. And so he respected Coach Hill and let him kind of share over FaceTime from the hospital bed what happened. And it was pretty shocking. And we kind of were blindsided by it. No one really expected that to happen. But Coach Hill was in good spirits and super, hopeful about how things were going for him on his end. And then he was trying to just the man he is. He didn't want things to be about him. He wanted it to be about us players playing the game. And so he asked us to, keep it quiet. Don't make a big deal. He didn't want to be the center of attention. But obviously he was there on Saturday, which was super cool to see him on the field before the game. Still in good spirits, a little like emotional, obviously, because he can't fulfill or can't be with us the way he wants to be completely, but he was still able to be there and be part of the defense in some way. And that was cool to see.
What was that like emotionally? Because suddenly you're like, wait, he had a heart attack? Like he's had this crazy experience, and then who's calling? Then there's the logistics, right? After you get the human side of that. But then he shows up on the field. Did you guys think he'd be at the stadium? Probably not, I'm assuming.
I mean, after having surgery and, two surgeries, I didn't expect him to be there. I think a lot of guys were on the same page, but so it was really cool to see him there. We obviously trust him to have prepared us and his staff well enough to call the game how he wanted it to be called. And so we were pretty confident in the coaches and him. And so emotionally that way, in that sense, it didn't really bother us too much. We were pretty confident and ready to go still. But which is a testament to his coaching style and the preparation he helped us achieve before the game.
You've called Gavin Fowler Coach Hill 2.0. He took over for the Safeties as an analyst. How would you evaluate, how Gavin helped you guys in his first kind of full safety coach stint right there?
Yeah, Coach Gavin's great. He like with the iPad, the tablets, he was helping us go through the plays. He was asking if we were seeing anything, tricky, confusing. He was helping communicate, what Coach Hill was talking about through the headset to us. So yeah, he did well. And last year, Coach Gavin was up in the box in the booth, and so this year he's down on the field with us, which is cool and fun. And yeah, I have a good relationship with Coach Fowler. He actually hosted me on my official visit a few years back, so we go way back. And but it's fun to see him grow as a coach and continue to improve and help us play well as a safety room.
Let's talk about SMU. You played against them a couple of years ago in the New Mexico Bowl, a dramatic 2-point stop, right, which was right at the goal line. Now it's a team that's a Power 4 team like BYU, and a team that can sling it. They have 2 quarterbacks now, and they can run. How you feeling about the matchup with the Mustangs?
Yeah, we're excited. Yeah, we know kind of similar offense what they're running a couple of years ago still, and having 2 quarterbacks is fun to kind of game plan for. And it's still the same offense coordinator though when it's a different quarterback. So play calling's pretty similar. Like you said, they'll sling it. They can run it too. They have great athletes. They're a Power 4 program, and they're excited to prove that to people and against another Power 4 program. So we're excited for that challenge and excited to go down there and have a good game against them.
Well, Talan, best of luck. All the BYU Sports Nation karma I can give you. Go get a win Friday in Dallas against SMU. Thanks for the time, man.
Yeah, thank you. Have a good one.